Consider something strange. There are seasons when life feels like battle, when the sky splits open above you, when fear presses in, when the road ahead disappears into the storm. And there are seasons of feast, when the table is full, when blessing seems to spill over the edges of your life. But wisdom speaks to both. The same quiet voice whispers to the wounded, hold on. It whispers to the triumphant, stay humble. Because sorrow does not stay forever. Neither does glory. The storm moves on, the feast ends, and the soul must learn how to walk with peace through both. Welcome back, my fellow stranger, to another episode of Traversing the Strange World. I am your host, Isaiah Danbury, and this is another Monday Morning with Peace. Today we are going to be talking about impermanence and the constant state of change. There is an old story about King Solomon. He was searching for a mantra, wanted a phrase that could guide a man through every season of life. Something simple enough to carry, but deep enough to steady the soul. So a ring was made for him. He was told to look at this ring on his best day and on his worst day, and engraved on it were the words, "This too shall pass." And the story says that he looked at it in two different circumstances. The first was a time of conflict, in battle. When the outcome was unclear, he looked down at the ring and read these words, "This too shall pass." And in that moment, words gave him strength. They reminded him that the pain is not permanent. Chaos does not reign without end. Even the hardest season has limits. Even the longest night gives way to morning. Then the story says there was another moment, not in battle, but at a feast. He was surrounded by a celebration, wealth, comfort, victory. The kind of moment a man could lose himself in. The kind of moment where pride can quietly take the throne. There too, Solomon looked down at the ring, and he read the same words, "This too shall pass." And in that moment, the ring gave him a different kind of wisdom. It reminded him that success is passing too. Glory is passing too. Power, pleasure, applause, abundance, none of these stay forever. And maybe that's the wisdom for us this morning, that the same truth can speak to us in opposite seasons. When you are in pain, it tells you to hold on. When you are in triumph, it tells you to stay humble and stay grounded. That, my friends, I believe is wisdom, because most of us know how to be ruled by the moment. When life gets hard, we panic. We start talking to ourselves like the pain will never leave. We act as though this present trouble is the final shape of our lives. We let one difficult moment convince us the whole story is broken. But then when life gets good, we become careless, entitled. We begin to act like the feast will last forever. But the ring speaks to both illusions. To the man in battle, it says, "Do not despair." To the man at the feast, it says, "Do not become drunk in this season." The hard conversation passes. Confusion passes. The comfort passes. This is not meant to make you cynical. It's just simply wisdom. It means you do not have to be destroyed by the valley, and you do not have to worship the mountaintop. You can walk steadily, and you can breathe in the middle of the storm, because this too shall pass. You can sit at a table in a season of joy and still whisper, "This too shall pass." And what that creates in a person is something rare. Patience is suffering. Humility is success. Peace is change. Maybe that is the deeper invitation here. Not to detach from life, not to pretend things do not matter, but to stop giving temporary seasons ultimate power over your soul. So maybe ask yourself this: what season am I in? And am I in battle right now? Am I tired, stretched, uncertain, overwhelmed? Then let these words comfort you. This too shall pass. Where are you at the feast? Are you on the season of momentum, blessing, relief, and abundance? Then let these words humble you. This too shall pass. Either way, the invitation is the same. Stay anchored deeper than the moment in front of you, because seasons change, but a grounded soul learns how to endure both. In battle, let it give you hope, and at the feast, let it give you humility. And there are also times where it's not exactly clear. Rather, we're in a season of feast or in the middle of a war. So here's another story. A farmer had a horse, and one day the horse ran away. The neighbors came and said, "That is terrible. What bad luck." But the farmer simply replied, maybe. A few days later, horse returned, and he came back with several wild horses. The neighbors came again and said, how wonderful, what good luck. And the farmer replied, maybe. And the next day, the farmer's son tried to tame one of the wild horses, and he was thrown off its back and broke his leg. Once again, the neighbors came and said, this is terrible, what bad luck. And once again the farmer said, maybe. Then long after that, war broke out. Soldiers came through the village, taking young men to battle. They saw the farmer's son with his broken leg. They passed by him, and the neighbors came again and said, how wonderful, what good luck. And as you can only imagine, the farmer once again said, maybe. And I think there is something deeply wise in that old story. Maybe at this moment we don't know what type of season this is. Maybe we call something disaster too early. Maybe we think something is a blessing too early. Maybe we are declaring defeat right in the middle of battle. But I think life is often more mysterious than that. What feels like loss may be making space. And what feels like triumph may carry dangers that we cannot yet see. And I think it's wisdom to wait patiently with the this too shall pass mentality. Watch and wait and observe. Let's understand that every closed door isn't necessarily ruin, and every open door isn't necessarily salvation. Sometimes we don't know yet, and that's alright. As Heraclitus said, the only constant in life is change. And as Marcus Aurelius said, observe constantly that all things take place by change. And he also at a certain time said, receive without pride, let go without attachment. And I think that excellently captures the intention behind today's episode. Let's remember the impermanence of the season in this strange world that we live in. And sometimes we don't entirely know what season that is. Let that not numb us, but give us a sense of hope in the seasons that appear to be bad, and a sense of humility in the ones that appear to be good, and the patience to traverse that which we do not understand. And I'm going to top it off there. This is about the size I'm going to keep these Monday Mornings with Peace installments. I'll see you guys on Thursday for the longer episode, the Thursday Journal. This Thursday, we're going to be talking about the story of David, Bathsheba, and Uriah in a very archetypal, mystical way. It's going to be in relation to the ideal self and how occasionally we murder it. And I'm going to close this installment with that. If you're listening on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, like and leave a review. And maybe save too. And I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. So leave a little comment down below. Until next time, let's keep traversing this strange world. Let's be patient, wait and watch, humbly. Let's always be introspective and inquisitive. Let's remember to be neighborly to folks, because we're cast into the same confusing world as everybody else. So at the end of the day, we're all just strangers in a strange land. Until next time, peace.